Welcome to the calm before the storm. It is March 24th. We are supposed to get 5 to 7 inches of snow in the next 12 hours or so. There should be about 4 feet of snow on the ground right there. Well, not right there because that's the driveway, but right over there. Sorry about the reflection there. But we've had a very weak winter. So at this point on March 24th, we would like for the snow to stop and the paddling season to begin. If it's not going to be good skiing and good snowshoeing, we'd prefer that it just be warm. So Cassandra is off at her curling league. She has a weekly curling league. The boys are in the house, happy, fed, playing video games, and I got to spend an hour or two in the shop working on my own boat, which is a relatively rare thing. So this is my new Swift Cruiser 16.8, a fantastic tripping boat. Long distance racing boat, not as fast as a surf ski or a K1. So probably not a boat you're going to see on the podium in unlimited classes, but something that you can paddle for 40 hours without getting out of and still be relatively comfortable and stable. It'll handle a wide variety of conditions. It's a really interesting and fun boat that I'm excited to add to our fleet. So I have some ultra distance races planned in this summer. This video, however, is about the spray deck. This is the spray deck that I just finished for this boat, and I am very happy to say that even though this is my personal deck, there is nothing on this deck that our customers don't also get when they order a spray deck. Well, an expedition spray deck from us. Everything you see here is exactly what our customers can order. Some of them are options, so they're optional. You get to configure your deck the way that you want. But yeah, this is the result of years and years of refinement and design and testing, real world use, both in races and on trips and expeditions. And it works out really well. I think about where our decks started about 6 years ago, and I think about where they are now, and there's just no comparison. So I thought I would just quickly run through the features on this deck, and then I think we'll also do separate videos on the boat itself, what we had Swift do and why we're excited to paddle it. A separate video on outfitting for this boat when it's not decked up, so when there's no spray deck on it. And then lastly, a video on the splash cover, which is a different style of spray deck that is on this boat as well. So starting here at the bow, our decks generally leave about 3 inches of end cap free. It's perfect for a GoPro mount, by the way. So about 3 inches of end deck are left free, and then we have a tensioning strap here that lets us put tension on the deck from bow to stern so that you can stretch it out and remove most of the wrinkles. This deck happens to be standard snaps, which means the snaps are under the gunnels here. We also make a deck that we call our hybrid snap and lace. So it's a lacing system that goes back and forth between the deck and snaps that are down here and have a webbing tab sewn into them. That lets you adjust the tension of the deck. There are lots of reasons that people prefer that style. I prefer this style because I never load over my gunnels. I never have to loosen my deck. And I would prefer to keep my snaps tucked up under the gunnels so they're as protected as possible when I'm paddling. So this is the style deck that I prefer, but again, we do offer that hybrid style if that's something that you're interested in. On this deck, we were very lucky. A boat with that much tumble home often has to use drilled and riveted snaps because there's so much curvature in the hull that these adhesive snaps won't sit flat. But in this case, the way the tumble home works out and the way the deck is, you can see that there is actually this really nice flat shoulder in the tumble home. There's a tight curve here, but the snaps fall just below that. So we were able to use adhesive snaps everywhere on this boat. The adhesive snaps work great. They are not as secure as drilling and riveting. Drilling and riveting is a very permanent thing. These can come off, especially in high heat. There is a product called Primer 94 that we can supply to you if you really want to make it more permanent, or you're attaching those adhesive snaps to Royal X polyethylene T-Formex. ABS, something that is a low energy plastic, or you're putting it onto something that's composite like this and you want to make it a super secure bond. we can provide you with that Primer 94, and you can add that to your installation. But I am quite confident these will stay on even during hot summer days. On our family boats that we use these on, we've only had 1 or 2 fail over 5 or 6 years. So no big deal. Just keep one in your repair kit and pop it on there if one comes off. So coming back to the deck itself, we have a reinforcement piece of fabric on the front that gives us extra secure bar tacking for this painter line attachment. We'll get to that in a moment, but going from front to back, this is a scramble handle. It is box stitched and reinforced. So you can lift the boat by this when the boat is empty momentarily. Don't carry it down to the water by that handle. Certainly don't pick up a loaded boat by that handle. We call it a scramble handle because it is intended for scrambling. You jump out of the cockpit, run to the bow of the boat, have to pull it up on the beach. Have to grab this to swim with the boat to get out of a wet situation after you've capsized. Whatever it might be, this is just for scrambling. Do not lift and carry your boat by this handle. So that's an important thing. But that is the scramble handle. Makes handling the boat easier, but it is not for carrying. This is our painter line attachment, and you simply release that tab and your painter line comes free. In this case, there's no bow loop and there's no lining hole. So there will be a lining hole, but it's not there yet. So we put a grommet into the deck that is just above the thwart. The line goes through the hole, is tied around the thwart, and that way there is no pressure. If you use this painter line, there is no pressure whatsoever put on the deck. All of the pressure goes down to that thwart. The deck itself has reinforcement rub strips that run all the way down the deck on both sides. That protects your boat or protects your spray deck from rubbing up against things along the gunnels. The deck material itself is a marine grade polyester with a vinyl coating on it on the outside of the fabric. It is intended to be an outdoor waterproof boat cover in places like Florida and the Caribbean. It has a 7-year fabric manufacturer's warranty against UV damage. So this is not going to fade. They warranty it as a full-time outdoor boat cover in the tropics. And I'm sure they wouldn't offer that warranty if they weren't very confident in it. So this will not fade. It is going to stay waterproof. One of the nice things about the waterproof coating being on top is if it was a nylon cover with waterproofing underneath, the nylon saturates through and gets heavy, it stretches, and you're counting on that coating underneath, which oftentimes gets sticky and starts to flake off, whereas this is a much longer term solution. It's also much more stable under UV. The reinforcement fabric is a 300D solution dyed polyester, which is also really good in UV. It will eventually fade. It'll fade faster than this, but not very quickly. Up front here, we have bungees to shove your paddle under, and then we have a similar tie down here as we did for the painter line that holds your paddle shaft. We have map case tie downs. We don't sell map cases and we don't make them, but you can get map cases from Cook Custom Sewing, Seal Designs, as well as knockoffs from Amazon. So we provide those map case tie downs. There's a 2-inch Velcro brake here, as well as one here, so you can remove this center section completely if you have a nice day and you just want splash protection and wind protection with the bow and the stern sections of the cover. The center comes right out and you have a nice unencumbered opening for you to sit in. If, however, you want the cockpit, you can set it up like this so that it is rolled up and secured with these rolling devices. It's a toggle and a cord lock that locks it down, and then you can just release them and unfurl it if you want to put it on. I can't do that one-handed, so you'll have to look at our website or some of our other videos to see exactly what they look like. But there's a 2-inch piece of Velcro here. That 2-inch piece of Velcro comes up over your lap and then up to your torso. There's a draw cord here that you can use to pull it tighter around your torso, and a big red handle that's made out of webbing that you can rip open to pull open that Velcro and bail out of the boat very quickly if you need to. The way that this arches up over your lap and then has 2 plastic battens that go into little pockets, it keeps the deck arched so that it doesn't invert and become a bathtub and collect water. So a nice arched center section that goes over your lap, and then it comes up to your torso. One important thing that I always try to mention is that this spray deck, if you do pull it up around your body, should always be the outermost layer. It should be over your life jacket, over your rain jacket. It should be the very last thing so that if you have to get out of the boat, you can rip it loose and there's nothing in your way. There's nothing over it to prevent you from getting out quickly. So just a public safety announcement there. In the back, we have my spare paddle. It's not actually my spare paddle. I just stuck it in there for the video, but this is where my spare paddle would live. The front spot would be for my working paddle. I'd throw it up there if I was taking a break, having a snack, taking a picture, what have you. But same deal, right back here. That just pops loose, slides out, goes back in. It actually is very secure. I've never had one come out in rapids, in surf, you know, wind. I've never lost a paddle, so they're actually quite secure in there. And then as we work toward the back, we have, again, a painter line system with a grommet, another scramble handle, and typically in the back there would be a strap that goes around here, and this would be a 3-inch reveal. I made this a little bit bigger reveal because I have a special GoPro mount that I'm putting back here. I also couldn't put a strap around the end cap in the stern because this is the uphaul line for my rudder. It comes right out the back. So instead, I just stuck a snap right there. It's just another snap adhesive snap. So you can see it's just another black adhesive snap there. Works really well, and that counters the tension created by the front strap. So it all still ends up working out just fine. If we had a strap in the back, we could get rid of a few of those wrinkles, but that's a pretty well tensioned and tight deck, so it really isn't needed. And that is the end of my spray deck walkthrough. I might be able to wrap this up before we hit 12 minutes. That would be cool because I'm blabbering on. So thank you for listening. If you're still with us, watch for other videos about boat outfitting and splash covers, as well as the Swift Cruiser 16.8 itself. If you have any questions, let us know. And again, this is exactly the same style of spray deck you would get if you ordered an Expedition spray deck from us. This is not custom just for me. This is a production deck through and through. Have a great night. Think spring. Happy paddling.